not believe you're right.
Oh, it's the wall! For the first time, EVE have won a race!
They have beaten the unbeatable team title for TF10. They are back on top.
Good evening and welcome everybody. Welcome along to Competitive Speed Series. We are here for the Austrian Grand Prix. We have had some insane, incredible, magical moments at this track. In Competitive Speed Series in so many places I've commentated on. This is, I am sure, going to be an absolute incredible one. I'm joined by Ollie yet again for this one. Ollie, welcome along. How do you feel for this?
Good evening. Yeah, I like you guys. I love this circuit. It's probably my favourite to commentate over. It's so frantic. It's close quarters. Just everything can happen at the circuit, and the fact it's only 10 corners, it baffles me really. We'll have that debate later on in the comms, maybe which corners are corners. But yeah, I love the circuit. I think the drivers like it as well. It's fast and just non-stop the whole time. You don't get a break, do you? At this race when you're commentating. So, and neither the drivers while they're driving really. It's constant, full on throughout the whole Grand Prix. So very much looking forward to it. Hopefully, as I'm sure we will. They've done it all season, Gareth. The guys here will give us an entertaining show, and they're already bunched up trying to do their quali laps here. So but looking forward to it very much. So.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping first, though. RSC has a qualifying ban. QRT, I believe, have a qualifying ban as well. FRT, both their drivers have a qualifying ban for this one, I believe, if I've done my homework right on that side. Also, PC last night was an incredible race. If you haven't seen that, after this, I do recommend you going to watch that one back. TF10 ended up taking first and second, pole position and second, locking out the front row of the grid with a 102.893 and a 102.925. I do wonder if these guys can hold us to that standard tonight. But the race winner was FRT Sixten Lindhardt. So that's a good one to keep an eye out. Definitely go back to rewatch that one. In season 5, we were here again, and it was Alex Lofer that took pole position right at the death. And I know we're seeing the standings page, but I can see Ollie smiling in the camera screen. Alex Lofer out of nowhere with a 103.013 for their pole time, and the race was won by TF10, and it was Rens Thomason, the TF10 driver, that was doing that won that one. Team TF10 are struggling this season though, down in 4th place with 180 points, 205 points behind the Shizou team. And what a performance, what a recovery from Shizou, because it looked like it was going to start unravelling a little bit, but they stopped the gap last time out.
Yeah, well, they had issues during the safety car phase, didn't they? At Muller, that cost them, and we thought, yep, that's it. And then also ET8 had a bit of a nightmare as well, didn't they? With their 2 drivers making mistakes and getting damage. So yeah, well, ET8 only had the 1 point for the team, unfortunately, last time out. So yeah, SCI had a great outing, and that just extended their lead in the championship, because we thought ET8 had won round 6 and round 7. We thought, okay, here's the comeback, and then they go and do what they did at Imola, Gareth. The tables got turned completely. So ET8 will definitely be a team that really are pushing it this evening to try and claw back some points on SCI this evening.
Certainly will do. And currently second place with a 103.2. So it's already the high or the low 103s that we're talking about, the times, while PC side of things was the late 102s. So we could be creeping into the 102s like we were hoping for last season here in Austria. But at the moment, it's the QRT driver of Lars Kramer that is leading the way with a 103.143. We're on board with Mattea Manga, who is the Alpine TF10 driver for tonight, heading through into the final 2 corners. Hopefully that Haas is out the way perfectly, not going to cause them any issues. And what we have found, and maybe not so much this season, but they will try a second run. It's a very slow time for Mattea. They must have obviously went slow somewhere in that track and maybe pushing again. To the point that I was just about to make, that they do a second installation lap at this track because it is so short.
Yeah, and they may feel the tyres aren't warmed up properly, or they do that initial lap and they make a mistake. So they are again able to do that because it's such a short circuit. And you know, one of the corners isn't really a corner. It obviously helps with tyre wear. They're not pushing tyres as far as they could go around some of the more aggressive corners we have here. So, but here obviously doing this first proper. He's already done one lap. Currently a 1 minute 10.9, but again that was a slow initial lap. But he was quickest in the first and middle sector here. So comes on the final two corners. Key not to run too wide here because that can give you invalidation again through the final corner. So we'll see what Mattia can do. Comes across the line, and that is 7 seconds improvement, but not making mistakes in that final sector, Gareth. And that's a 103.4. So still a bit of work to do, but you can barely split the drivers in top 10 or top 9 at the moment, really, because they're so close together. There's 3/10 just about splitting 9 drivers, and that's only going to get more congested as we get through this session with 11 minutes remaining.
Laffiti throwing themselves into second place, and that's only 5 thousandths of a second slower than Lars. But look at Snack and Sergioli. There is 1,000th separating those two. Just to go on to what you were saying, that is so close between these drivers.
Yeah, you can barely get a piece of string in between them. Really, it's unbelievable. So I'm sure we have had. I'm sure with you and I, guys, that maybe this league or maybe a different league we've come down together, but people getting the same times at the circuit because it's so close. So we could see that again tonight. 1/1000th is as close as we're going to get so far. But Lucas just coming around. I think that's just his second installation lap. So he'll be flying around for TF10 here. So we'll see what he can do on his first flying up. He goes through 1, 2, and up towards turn 3. I think it's harsh get out of the way, but we'll see what he can do. Again, Pitbull in the first sector, so we'll see what Lucas can achieve as he goes round. So a lot of drivers get that. I'm sure there's barely anything in it because of the lack of corners. So we'll see what if Lucas can improve on his he definitely will improve on his 12th place, but where he'll go in the standings on his first proper corner lap.
Yeah, it's all over the place. We can't really get a feel of when the times are to go out on track because everyone's just doing their lap, going into the pits and coming straight back out. There's none of this waiting around business that we've noticed in a few circuits this season or on the calendar in the general and an F1 style of things. I thought Lucas went a little bit too wide out of that, but he hasn't. They have taken pole position. What a time from TF10 Lucas. 103.116 to start things off for the TF10 team, and that is a timely boost to their worries this season, I suppose. But let us know in the chat who you think is going to take pole position. We've got a poll up. There is QRT, ETA, or VNT. Say in the chat whichever way you are going. If you think it is going to be another team, it will be great to hear from you. Ollie, 8 minutes left. Well, just over 8 minutes left in the session. Who do you think is going to take pole tonight?
It's too early, Gareth. You know how quickly things can change at the circuit. And we've still got both. There's I think you've got Ollie, Finley, Venom, and White Sheep yet to do a lap time. Someone just jumped up. I think that's Finley up to 7th there for the SCI team. It's going to be a difficult one, isn't it? I don't know. The top 7 are all different teams, aren't they? So. Who do I know that is good on a lap? Do you know, I think as Venom puts it on pole with a 1:3.061, I don't think I know, Gareth. I think, just going off memory, I think it could be Sergioli. He's been consistent this season. So I think I might give it to the ET8 team this evening, but I'm confident I'll get that wrong. as well in how close it is so far.
Yeah, let's. I haven't got a clue. I'm just going to go with the QRT, Lars Kramer, because they set their fastest lap to start with and not been. Well, I don't think they've been able to produce a lap time afterwards. They are just under a tenth of a second quicker into sector 1, which means that will pretty much displace Venom if they can keep the pace up at this point. So, I'm going to go with Lars. Let's see what they can do. But we know from history, you don't have to, produce the pole lap, or if you don't produce the pole lap, it's not necessarily the end of the world. It's, anyone's game still when it comes to race pace and, strategy, I think is a big point, because I can envisage some punctures happening tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. As Lars comes around the final corner, does he improve? He does with a 1:03.036, less than 300ths quicker than SCI Venom. And it may be your evening tonight, Gareth, with Lars putting it on pole. Will we get into the 102s? It's very close. We'll have to wait and see. I think there's about 6 minutes left of the session. I've got the yellow flag, so I can't see. But the times are tumbling, Gareth, and we're only going to get quicker.
Let's see what Sergioli can do. It's been a great start to this qualifying here in Austria. Austria always seems to produce, just because it's constant, pace and whatever you want through it, and generally a little bit of controversial action to happen as well. And we always love a little bit of spice to change things up a little bit. But through these double left-hander for Sergioli now, but he's 4 seconds down on their lap time, so I don't think it's going to be a proper lap time. So let's move on board with someone that could be on a lap time. Maybe Ollie Hornby. Are you on a lap time, Ollie? You are indeed. Let's see what the AMS driver can produce on this time around.
Yeah, both him and whether it was Gergo or it was someone else last week, both AMS drivers up the top, weren't they? And Ollie had an issue through the first couple of chicanes at Imola, and I think it was in the gravel trap, unfortunately. So he'll be hoping to redeem himself this evening as he comes through the final sector here. Currently 1:12.5, but it looks like that will be booted at the park with this occasion. Comes round the final corner, braves as far as he goes, as wide as he can go on the last. He has improved by 8 seconds with 1:03.7, but that's only moved him up one place over Divon in 16th. So it looks like, he can't go again, Gareth, because he's gone wide at turn 1. So he'll have to come back in the pits and put a new set of soft tyres on him.
See how that will work out for them. They've still got plenty of time. 4 minutes 25. We can imagine at least one, maybe. Well, if they're doing an installation lap, then they'll probably start coming, or a double installation lap, they'll probably start coming out now. But Gergo going to be, possibly their last run for them on their out lap, coming through down the start finish straight. 4 minutes left to qualify. Keep those polls, keep those votes coming in the polls, because it would be great to hear from you. But going back on Ollie Hornby, who got a little bit down on their lap time, had that lap invalid or deleted in at Imola last week when the tyres weren't exactly over that white line, were they? So the game giving him a little bit of a harsh treatment there, but we will wait and see if they can produce. Maybe drivers are putting themselves on used tyres to save a tyre because they've gone for a medium, or like a harder or a medium or a harder set tyres into this race. Gergo, though, 0.2 of a second quicker. This could be enough to snatch pole away from Lars. This could be great for the AMS team.
Absolutely. It comes through the final score and throws it in to the penultimate corner. He had plenty of room on the outside as well. Had to use it, cross the line. Third for AMS Gergo, a 1:03.066, and is barely a hair width between the drivers, guys. You can see by the table how close it is. The top 5 are 500s in between them. It's unbelievable, but that's what you expect at the circuit and how close it is. here's the circus of drivers coming out of the pits on the mini map, and it's going to get very congested.
It is indeed. We're on board with Gavroch. Loads of yellow flags, I'm sure, going to tell us, which is going to block our timing screen. So we've got 2 minutes 20 remaining here in qualifying at round 9 of Competitive Speed Series Season 6. And Gavroch is going to get us underway for the final runs here. And let's see what the VNT driver can do. Their teammate Lafiti is currently P4, but Gavroch will want to be higher up on the grid. But their time pretty much starts now.
I don't think he's going full pace, Gareth. Yeah, he's not. So it's a second installation lap for the VNT driver. I just let an Alpine through, and it's not Lucas, it is Mattia, looks like. But again, Mattia's slow. They're all going quite slow. Mattia's actually invalidated. It's like maybe why he slowed down. But yeah, a lot of these guys doing their installation, so it's difficult to know who is and who isn't on flying laps at the moment.
Looks like Lucas could get caught in traffic here. They've got to get out their way quickly as they go through turn 3. And cars are not getting out of the way of Lucas. And Lucas definitely looks like they're on a push lap, which might cost Lucas some time there. And I think Lucas has backed out of the lap. I'm pretty certain they have. And that's frustrating. Cars or drivers not getting out of the way.
Yeah, and then we could see some warnings and potential penalties on the severity of the blocks here. It's all track positions, isn't it? You know, Lucas moves out the way of a Williams there. He's actually put a wheel on the gravel, which is not going to help him. Again, there's an Aston Martin flying through. He's trying to find space in the circuit. It's almost Monaco / Budapest style qualifying. Trying to find space on the circuit is almost impossible.
Almost impossible indeed. Lars takes it into the 102.9s. Snack goes a 103.012. And that is just a thousandth quicker than last season's pole sitter, which was Alex Lofer. But Lars still, has stolen the show at the moment. Let's see what Gavroch can do. Coming down into turn 4. Let's see how the pace is handling in that Williams on this second installation lap. We see we've got a little bit of a mix-up. Some drivers want that second installation. Some drivers have not wanted that. But it's looking pretty good for Gavroch at the moment. Is it going to be enough? The checkered flag has been waved. I don't think it's enough really at the moment after that split, actually, for the VNT driver.
No, I don't think it's going to be. So Sergio Lee invalidated his lap, Gareth, so he won't be improving on the 6th place. But Gavroch comes across the line, and that's up to 3rd for the VNT driver. Trying to find who's next. Going to be a flurry of cars, the Nick.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find someone that could be on a lap. Finley goes across the line. It's 12th and no higher. And Lifebout across the line up into P6, which is good for them. 14th currently is Thea Wadi, up 0.3 of a second. This could be a late charge for Thea Wadi, the McLaren driver, across the line. Where is it going to sit? It's only up into 12th place. But still, everyone's so close together, and that is qualifying over and done with. But wow, there you go, qualifying done.
Yeah, I mean, the top 3 are, it's neither the top 2 teams we have in our standings, Gareth. It's a QRT pole, followed by an AMR 2nd and a VNT 3rd. So a huge mix-up there. Points behind SCI here. So I think it may be too little too late with 4 rounds remaining. But yeah, we've seen crazier things. But yeah, what a qualification that was.
Yeah, incredible. Lars Kramer on pole, Snack in 2nd, 3rd to Gavroch, Venom in 4th, Gergo in 5th, 6th to Lifebout, 7th to Lafiti, Sergioli in 8th, 9th to Lucas, Ollie Hornby in 10th. Then you got Mashuzo, Zioardi, White Sheep, Finley, Matteo Manga, Divan, Priory Belbaby, Quantum and Max Power all didn't, with Jonas coming in and not qualifying either. Let's go back to the standing screens, because as you quite rightly mentioned, none of those guys in that time, they're not the championship protagonists.
No, I mean, I think Venom was P4. We've got, well, I don't really want to talk about the race, Gareth, because I don't, are we restarting or are we going straight into it?
I think we're
Just
going to
because.
restart. No, I don't think we're going to restart. I think it's going straight in
Okay.
into the race when it comes through. So we've not been told anyway. Nothing in the Discord chat, so we should be going straight into it.
Okay.
But I you know what? I wasn't looking because I was looking at the standings, and I've just seen it's a little bit of deluge.
Yeah, I think the spectators going to need some their ponchos and umbrellas this evening.
Yes, and it's full wet the entire race with Ace's information. Thank you very much for that. My goodness me, this could be quite big.
It could also neutralize the race massively with no DRS overtaking coming up to turn 3 and turn 4, though. So we'll see how it plays out this evening. But it's like I said, you wanted Spice, Gareth, and you've tried to tip it into your dish, and you've just split the lid, and it's gone all into your stew. And this is what full wet Austria does to you.
It certainly is, but there's some drivers there. They're on intermediates. So is it on that tricky switchover position where sometimes it'll be better to be on the wets, but sometimes it'll be better on the inters? Wets generally are found as you don't want to be on that tyre because they're not very nice. So you always try and push through the inters. But if it's too bad, and we are in the Styrian Hills, of course, in the game, so maybe they are producing that in a little bit more of a full wet conditions where it can just keep on coming around.
Absolutely, yeah. We saw it in Imola last week with the rain coming in late on, how the inters were still pretty good even in the almost full wet conditions at the end. I think the odd driver at the back decided to go onto the wets, but they were still pretty good in the race. So we'll see. The weather could change. You know, Ace mentioned it's raining the whole time, but does it ease off potentially? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But the drivers, I'm sure, have done their practices in the wet conditions just in case, and hopefully they have, because it could get around some of those bank corners, well, slightly banked corners we have here, could get a bit slippy on the rear end. So hopefully they're all done, like I said, done a bit of work in the wet conditions. But again, throw strategy right out the window, and it may suit drivers a bit better than others.
Certainly can. The setups will be slightly different as well. But let's go back to the standings board quickly, as AMS gained a few points last time out, not enough to catch AMR, unfortunately, on this occasion. And that midfield battle between TF10 and FRT looks like it's heating up. QRT dropping off a little bit, but if Lars Kramer has managed to pull that out tonight and produces the points, then that brings them back into that battle for P3. Ventari at the moment leading the way and have got that sizable 67 point margin over TF10, but it can change a drop of a hat like we've seen all season.
Well, like I said, with FRT getting the win last week, that changed their trajectory this season. That could really, we'll see obviously how the rest of the season goes, but that's helped them massively. And pulling them 3 points behind TF10 now. Excuse me, I don't think TF10 were expecting it. And they've, again, it's still 4 rounds to go. Anything can happen. But that fight for P3 in the standings definitely still involved between at least VNT, TF10, and FRT, QRT. Like you mentioned, if Lars can get the win tonight, different story. They could be pulled into that fight potentially with 4 rounds remaining, but it's so tricky, isn't it? And the fact that the points go down to 15 can really make the difference in the standings. Picking up those points in a bad race for the team can really change the trajectory, especially in round 12 when we get there.
Yeah, it's not long left of the season either while we wait for them to come through. We're at Austria, we're at race day here, then we've got Canada, Britain and Australia three incredible tracks, but I have got to go straight over to the racing scene because we are on 5 red lights here in Austria, and race we go, and we have gone, and it looks like a really good start from Gavroche, who's trying to get up the outside of Snack as they go into turn 1. Is it going to be enough? It's going to be very, very tight between them. A little bit of argy-bargy. The Red Bull of Shazoo Venom dropping down the order a little bit as Snack holds on for the life of them at the moment as they go into turn number 3. Only one driver on the wets, and that's Gergo, which makes me think that maybe it's going to be good for wets for 2 or 3 laps, and then it's intermediates. It's all kicking off behind Gavroche as he's finally got past Snack as they try and attack on, but Lifebout and Lafitte and Sergioli all together as well. It's quite a, hectic start to this Grand Prix, Ollie.
Yeah, it feels like it's a go-kart race with the drivers all over the circuit trying to find grip where they can, trying to get out of the spray, and it's not a very wide circuit at all. Almost 3 abreast coming up to turn 3 further back and trying to creep around this circuit. Like you mentioned, those wet tyres might be... Ultimately, he's going to be into some people drifting through, and I think that's White Sheep trying to go around the outside of Lucas further back, and I think Lucas... No, they're still side by side. Penultimate corners, brave from the Ferrari, but lost the back end, and Lucas, just about stays ahead for now. But again, White Sheep trying his best to stay involved, but not for now. But yeah, frantic start as always at this.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a switchback was trying to be available there, but it wasn't in the end. And here comes Max Power trying to A, defend from Jonas, and B, attack Devan. And it's not happening. And just in front, Devan's gone well off the track as they come through it. Let's back up to the leaders. Nothing doing at the moment for Gergo, who's gone on to that alternate, the only driver on that alternate strategy, as Lifebout and Lafitte swapping positions again, but they're side by side as they come down this back straight.
Yeah, side by side coming into turn 4, late on the brakes by Lifebout up to the inside. Can he hold it? He's got his teammate almost crashing into the back end of his car. A little bit of contact there, trying to hold the car in a straight line in. But Lafitte trying and holding the inside here. Could this be enough to hold off Sergio? You think he can, but he's still holding the outside through here. Loses the back end ever so slightly. And that's Williams just about staying ahead for now. But really elbows out and trying again, guys. They just tiptoeing where they can, trying to keep the car on circuit. So difficult to do, and especially when you've got the spray and everyone's so excited at the start of this race, trying to gain places where they can. And Lafitte just about to staying in front for now.
Just about, as Lucas just about staying in front of White Sheep again, who's getting ever closer to the back end of that diffuser of the Alpine. And nothing doing at the moment. Alpine driver gets a very good launch out of the first corner as we go on board with Lafitte again, and Sergioli battling away into turn 3. This feels like it could be going on race-long battle, as again the drive out of turn 3 from Lafitte is much better, but the pure pace of Sergioli could be the one helping them out coming through into turn 4 now. This is so close. Back end steps out a little bit for Lafitte, bit squirrely. Both are a bit squirrely, to be perfectly honest. Lafitte being barged to the inside of turn 6, but can't do what they did last time out, and Sergioli finally has the move stuck.
Yeah, good defending from Sergioli on the exit of 4, just pushed him out as wide as he could, and there was no room or nowhere for Lafitte to go, so Sergioli holds P7, takes P7, and now behind his teammate, which I'm sure he'd like to assist, but over that battling is almost up to a second. It's come down slightly now, but it was over a second as Lars fast lap of the race is 17.8, and he's not getting away from Gavroche. Only 3/10 splitting first and second. It's Snack that needs to worry. He's almost up to a second between second and third now.
Gergo's in trouble. Those tyres, the gamble hasn't paid off. 1 second behind Snack. It might not necessarily be the tyres. It could be the tyres because Snack has dropped away as well. But Gergo not fully there. Venom just ahead, trying to go find a way through, but I don't think so on this occasion. Down into turn 4, but Venom needs to get that move done soon and try and put a bit of daylight between themselves and the ET8 team, because both of their drivers are just behind.
Absolutely, yeah. Venom trying to go around the outside there. Gergo went deep into 4. through 5 towards 6, but can't make his way through just yet. But he needs a pounce now, Gareth, while there's still a gap between himself, Lifebound, and Sergioli behind as White Sheep corner cutting. But if you can get by him now, he has that gap and try and claw on the back of Snack then in third place. And hopefully for his sake, Gergo holds up both the TF10 drivers behind, sorry, ET8 drivers behind. So we'll see how that will pan out. Sergio fast lap of the race, so he is feeling racy, and now he's on the back of Venom, which Lifebud is anyway. Sergio, which Venom I'm sure won't be too pleased at seeing both the Mercedes right in his gearbox.
He definitely doesn't want to see that. White Sheep picks up the first penalty of the day, and there goes Venom attacking Gergo, and there's a little bit of argy-bargy between the two of them. This could be problematic. Venom again being caught in there, keeping the tyres up the inside, maybe throwing it up the inside into turn 4. Definitely had to make the move, and they have kept it where it does. Lifebout attacking all this, and I don't think they can because Venom's got through, and Gergo following through nicely for the time being. But Venom and Gergo into turn 3, a little bit of argy-bargy, but now Venom has a little bit of space in front to hope that Gergo can just hold up Lifebout behind.
Yeah, crucial to, like I said, for Venom to get ahead, but crucially for both the ET8 drivers to get through past Gergo. Unfortunately, he's a bit of a rolling roadblock at the moment with his tyre choice. Here, Lars, another fast lap of the Gavroche has got past Snack in all the melee that we were seeing behind for P4, 5 and 6. So Snack actually 1.6 behind second place here, so he's got to get back in the groove of things, but we'll stay on board with Gergo. He has to come up towards turn 3. No move from Light, but actually no late on the brakes. I think he's mistake on the there, but a contact between the Haas and the Mercedes, and that may allow Gergo's managed to get a bit of power down and stay ahead of Lightbot on this occasion, but the speed from Lightbot trying to go around the outside potentially. He does a switchback, but Gergo's slow in the apex, but he might just about get through. A bit of contact there side by side between both the Haas and the Mercedes, and that's Lifeboat through past Gergo.
Lifebout needed to make that move stick as well, but it's very bumpy there as now Sergioli trying to find a way through, and you do wonder when does Gergo decide to jump and go into the pits to do all this. Look at that, going to the inside, attacking into turn 9 is Sergioli. That's very, very brave. A little bit of contact again. Sergioli up the inside again, and this is very, very close, but somehow Sergioli's made the move stick.
Well, yeah, he almost had to, didn't he? Because going up the hill, coming through 1, Gergo's quite slow, and already Lifeboat has 1.4 over his teammate. It's unbelievable how quick Lifeboat is at this moment in the Grand Prix. And Gergo, unfortunately, but like I said, a bit of a sitting duck here. And now, actually, there's a move from Quantum up the inside. Oh, Lafitte, I don't think he was expecting that. He was the next one to get past Gergo, but unfortunately for him, Quantum is trying to get his elbows involved. Down to 4 they go. He's got the inside line. Does he bully the Williams out? The Williams tries to turn in on him there. Still has the outside, the Williams on the inside for the next corner. If he can get enough grip through here, he has still got enough grip. Lafitte has the inside through 6. Can Quantum do the switch back? He's trying to push the car through, but no, Lafitte just about stays ahead. But all his fighting out, there's no help there. Try and keep up with the drivers ahead of Gergo here. They're more and more time on this fight between 8th and 9th.
I think Gergo going into the pits. So just checking to see if there's any damage on Quantum's car. We have a change for the final podium position. That is Venom getting past Snack. Now, this is interesting through it. And something to mention. Gergo obviously going in the pits. But Quantum up into 8th place. Was in the bottom 4 because of a qualifying ban. What a start to the Grand Prix Quantum has had. We definitely need to give them a shout out there, but maybe Lafitte was defending to the best of their ability to keep in front. But there is a 2.1 seconds between the VNT driver and the ET8 driver of Sergioli, which Quantum is probably going to get fed up of having to gain the time back on drivers at the moment. But Venom up into 3rd place. That's where the Shizou team needs, both of their drivers, but at least one of them is filling the contract right now.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the fact that Finley is down in 12th isn't helpful. You know, with the way it stands, obviously in this race, the ETA team would gain points on them, but obviously not enough to take the title, to take first in the standings off them. But we'll see. We're only on lap 8 of 36, plenty of time here. Just keep an eye on the gap. Venom 2.7 behind the top two here, and I'm sure he's hoping to drag Sergioli fast lap of the race. I think the ETA drivers are really pushing, but crucially need to get past Snack as quickly as possible. Snack's on the same tyre strategy as Wing. Maybe I'm trying to. Doesn't look like he's got any damage, but something's slowing him down. Ollie Horn gets a 3-second penalty down in 14th. But yeah, Snack now under pressure from both the ETA as they head down toward turn 4.
Starting to think that maybe, as we just see, Finley getting past Iawadi for 11th place. That's more points than the Shazoo team that they will be happy with. But going back to Snack, I wonder if they're decided to go for a dry qualifying setup instead, while everyone else was going a little bit more conservative, as Lifebout getting into turn 7. That's a great move from Lifebout, but again has to chase 1.7 seconds to Venom ahead.
Yeah, I think but I think both ETA drivers are very quick. We've seen by the fast lap keeps coming down from both drivers, so I think they should be able to catch up with Venom. But I'm sure Venom fastest lap of the race once he got some clean air. But Venom obviously trying to claw his way back up to the top 2, and I'm sure Lifeboat and I'm sure Venom would appreciate a bit of help from a rival team to try and tackle the top 2 here. Lars holding his own, but hasn't had to do any battling, and Gavroche not been able to mount an attack at the moment, as that Sergioli up the inside of the Ferrari here, still by side. Snack gets a better overdrive coming out of turn 3, but they have the outside for the next corner, and Sergioli actually dips back in here, decides late on the brake, a little bit of contact through here, has the apex here. Can Snack hold the outside? No, he got on the rumble strip there, and that's a little bit of time, and that is Sergioli through up into P5. He needs to turn his teammate now, but yeah, Snack having a bit of like I said, it could be a setup issue, could be a myriad of different things. Yeah, I'm sure he's maybe hoping for a bit better, a bit dry weather, but unfortunately, guys, I don't think we're having that this evening.
No, I don't think so either. So let's have a look at Gergo, because I just want to see the pace advantage that Gergo has over Lars Kramer with the gap to the leaders. I have had a request for show lap times. I mean, the fastest lap times are there, but we're not going to go too far into too much. But anyway, positional changes. Quantum, like I said, up 10 places. Great for them. Gergo, obviously down 15, but for that, they have had a great, what's the best way to describe that? Just great start to the Grand Prix, Quantum, and they're still fighting away. Sergioli are Lifebout swapping positions. Maybe Sergioli feels like they've got more pace than their teammate. ET8 deciding, well, let's swap positions over and see what happens.
Well, Sergioli's been the man who has been pushing the fast lap of the race down and down, so I think maybe a wise choice by the ET8 team. See what he can do. If he can't get through, let's swap back maybe. But ultimately, Gareth, this is a team championship. It's all about how the team do, and that's what will decide the championship. Not individual drivers that need to think about these things, unless it's personal pride. Maybe they want to get a win, but ultimately it's a team game in this. And there we go, another fast lap from Sergioli. So he's a man on a mission, and his next assignment is Venom in P3. Venom is catching the top 2 as Oil Holmby gets another penalty for corner cutting, but he's chipping away at that. It was 2.7 a few back laps ago. It's now 1.8. But Gavroche again has got nothing to challenge Lars with, unless he maybe just sitting behind him, Gareth, and waiting for a mistake from our race leader. We'll have to keep an eye on the gaps. Lap 12. Well, we're a third of the way in now into this Austrian, very wet Austrian Grand Prix. But yeah, we'll see whether Venom can tag along with the top two and see how the ETA boys do as well as we progress through this Grand Prix.
Lafitte getting past Snack. Snack now dropping down the order a little bit. So we go on board with Quantum that's trying to find a way through, but not having the best of exit of turn 6, but much better entry into turn 7. This could be lining up for a move down the start-finish straight or down the back straight, depending when Quantum feels like they can get that move done. As we'll keep on watching Venom now, the fastest driver, responding to Sergioli. That could be crucial in all this. But looking back at Gergo's time to the leader, he's not really gaining too much to Lars at the moment. So the fresher rubber not doing too much.
No, I think ultimately, Gergo was he fourth at the start, fourth or fifth. So he knows how to negotiate the circuit, but yeah, ultimately he's got clean air as well, so you'd expect him to gain a little bit quicker. But we'll see how he does as the race obviously progresses on, and Divin gets a penalty as well to add to trouble. And penalties come into play, especially how close everyone is on circuit. So we'll see how that plays out obviously later on in the Grand Prix. Quantum's he's a bit stuck at the moment, guys. He was with Lafitte for quite some time and now can't seem to get past Snack. I don't know again whether he's having, well, he was looking very quick, so now maybe he's managed to find people at his pace and now struggling to get by. So we'll see whether he can get past Snack over the coming laps. But Venom almost within a second of 2 now, and that what's the word, Go? What's the phrase? 2's a crowd, 3's a something. I can't remember the quote off the top of my head. I mean,
Two's company, 3's a crowd.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. So Venom tried to make it a crowd. It was something like that. I wasn't gonna get, but it was thank you for filling in for me there. But yeah, he's now almost within a second. So again, the ETA boys are looking very quick and chasing the top 3 as well. So could be a 5-way fight very shortly for the lead.
We're nearly, well, we're nowhere near halfway, but we're also nearly halfway through the race, lap 14 of 36, and well, Quantum still can't find a way past Snack, and Snack's made a mistake at turn 4 into 5, and there Quantum will never have an easier overtake. But look at that, it's 2.3 seconds behind Lafitte, where they were up into the gearbox and the diffuser a few laps ago, but Quantum now released again. Let's see what Quantum can do fighting the way through in all this pain. Gavroche, and let's go to the leaders actually, because Gavroche has now got Venom for company just behind, and Sergioli is bringing Lifebout along, but Lifebout's struggling a little bit as well with overall pace, and you do wonder whether Lars has just got this in the bag and in just a controlled manner. But this is the closest we've seen Gavroche to the leader in a few laps.
Yeah, absolutely. But ultimately, I think he's got to think about it is behind him now. So does he want to attack sooner rather than later, so he doesn't have to think about that? I don't know. He's decided not to make any moves. But he's got to be careful, because we're seeing how well Venom has overtaken other drivers. Side through the exit of 4 there, maybe up through 5. A little bit of contact with 2 there. That's pushed Lars out wide, and Gavroche trying to go up the inside through 7, but can't make that move 6. Just couldn't get the power down, and that is just allowing everyone else to. Small bit of contact can really change things, and you've almost got a top 5 here now. Just aboard with the other SCI driver in 11th, Gareth. He did get past a few drivers, but he's struggling now. 5 points behind Lucas in 10th, and he's a bit not no man's land, because he's got 2 drivers directly on his gear, but he needs I'm sure he's hoping that maybe he can get dragged through here. But yeah, quite a gap between 10th and 11th. But Gavroche again, there's space now, guys, but further back. No, I thought there was a move there for someone else, but no. Top 5 get what? Now they're all within a second of each other, Gareth. So it's starting to heat up finally, the top 5.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the 2 battles with the Shazoo drivers, because they are heating up a little bit, and White Sheep trying to find a way back through Zioardi. Ollie Hornby pitted, by the way. And up the inside, actually, of Ziawadi is White Sheep. A switchback opportunity for the McLaren driver, but it's not going to happen. And White Sheep through, and it's given Finley a little bit of breathing room to the front then. Gavroche again, well, maybe saved up all that ERS to attack, and that little bit of contact means they couldn't get the move done, so they're going to have to, save again and attack in a few laps' time. But we're probably, if it's going to stay this intermediate tyre weather, we're probably going to see some pits soon, where we'll see maybe some undercuts, maybe some overcuts, who knows?
Absolutely, yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. As we get, obviously, up 17 of 36, almost at the halfway point in this Grand Prix, and Sergioli looking very close of that Red Bull as they come through turn 1, within 2/10 as they cross the line on lap 17. Gavroche looking close as well, but no moves as of yet. Priory gets a penalty down in 16th. Gavroche breaks early. Can he get the power down? No, he can't. It's difficult. I don't know who's taking ball with the top two or third and fourth here. Quite tasty. Gavroche late lunge on that racing drivers, and that's Gavroche putting a wheel on the grass here, losing the back end slightly. Can Venom capitalise on this? No, he can't. But a late lunge by Gavroche didn't work. It's got to be careful not to damage that car, because especially in these conditions up front, for his race. So just about can't get through on this occasion, but bit of a scare for our race leader.
Yeah, I had it on board with Gavroche as well. That was an interesting moment, but holding station at the moment. And all of this means Lafitte is catching up as well. Over 2 seconds. It was over 2 seconds before. It's now 1.6. Quantum's getting closer as well. Snack's dropping away. Faster than a sinking ship, unfortunately. We've now got Mashuzo and Lucas holding in, but they are going faster than Finley, who's just not holding down the pace in the rain. To the inside of the Shazoo driver goes Sergioli, and God, there's contact as well. Could be a little bit of desync there. That was very odd. But Sergioli up into the podium.
Yeah, good move. Like I said, I think a little bit of desync there, but still holds the inside line just about. Tries to switch back, driver back. I don't think he's got the pace. Oh, there's a wheel on the grass as well. Could that allow life back through here? No. Oh, maybe a little bit desync as well through on my screen anyway, but life out now with a man to attack Venom, but crucially Sergioli, the fastest man on circuit at the moment, flies on already 7/10 over his rival in 4th place here, and he'll be the man to challenge Gavroche here, because Gavroche dropped back slightly as well on this lap, but we'll see how it all pans out, and that's allowed Lafitte to get involved. There's a 6-way fight for a race lead. Quantum 2.3, but I'm sure that gap will come down as well very quick.
Yeah, Lucas the battle for P8 is going to heat up as well. There's so many battles happening on track at the moment. The top 6 fighting away. Then you've got Quantum in the world of their own, and then you've got Snack to Lucas. Then you've got Finley all the way. You could even put Matea Manga involved in that as well. We've got a lot of nice little pockets of battling happening at the moment, which is what Australia, it's what I've known to come to love from Austria even, not Australia, because I'm getting confused with what we were talking about earlier before the stream started, but definitely Austria, a wonderful track. But yeah, over halfway, haven't seen any pits yet.
No, obviously we've seen both the AMS drivers in. I think Divon's also. No, sorry, just both the AMS drivers. Obviously, they had for various reasons, but yeah, no stops from the leaders at the moment. Just seeing if anyone dares to peel in on this lap. No, they all stay out, pushing as far as they can go on these intermediate. Here, no moves on, or no push for moves anyway on this lap. But Gavroche looking pretty racy, but again, just can't get the exit as well as Lars does coming through one. But since Sergio again not gaining as of yet, I mean, say gaining, it's the gaps are small. 8/10 is nothing really. But again, in these wet conditions, it's almost extended because of the lack of obviously DRS. The rain's still falling pretty heavily. It didn't changed at all in this race. But it doesn't look like any moves on this occasion. Yeah, I think there's a bit of desync on Venom Gareth because it's breaking in and jumping around a little bit. So hopefully it doesn't affect the drivers around him too much on this occasion. But Quantum, that gap is coming down. Is 1.9. So he's saved about 4/10 on the previous 2 laps. So keep an eye on Quantum. Could I'm sure he wants to get involved with the battle, guys. He's been on his own for quite some time over the last 4, 5, 6 laps, hasn't he?
Has indeed. After dispatching of Snack, with Snack's mistake at the exit of turn 4, getting the move done and chasing on down the leaders. And what a race for Quantum, just from starting from 18th and already in with a shout for driver of the day. Mashuzo can't find a way past as we go up to Gavroche in second place. Still nothing happening at the moment as we wait and see a little bit of information to come through. Gergo is not really... I mean, they have caught up. It was, I think, up to 26 seconds between Gergo and Lars. And obviously, Gergo started on the wets and pitted for the intermediates 13 laps ago. But there's been no pace change between them at the moment. And, I mean, it's sticking at 23.3, roughly around there, which could be a little bit of a problem. But it could also be because they're stuck behind QRT Jonas. So we'll go on board with that little bit of a battle to see what plays out. But nothing really going on. They need to get the moves sorted soon. Lifebout picks up a penalty. That's not ideal.
No, that takes him back to 7th place with how it currently is eyeing grid. Many things can change, but yeah, really not ideal for him. It's probably Jonas or Jonas. Not sure we want to pronounce it this evening, but yeah, not being able to get by to here. But that is Finley into the pits on lap 21 when he came in. So we'll see. Yeah, again, I think, like I said, Gergo's got past him now, but obviously Gergo's done quite a lot of laps on. So we'll see how that and where Finley really comes out as well, Gareth.
Yeah, let's see if Finley will be out in the AMS Ormby kind of era, as there's still no moving. It is AMS Aura. Ollie Hornby is going to get past, and Ollie Hornby was stuck behind them before they made that pit early, but their tyres are going to be more in a danger zone towards the end of the race. But the fact that they've gone 21, 22 laps on these intermediate tyres, it is all just going to be fresh tyres, and and they'll be able to push it through. Part of me is now thinking, are they going to go to the end of the Grand Prix? I don't think it's possible. But into the pits goes Quantum. This could trigger something next lap.
Absolutely, yeah. He has been pushing hard on those tyres. He's done a lot of overtaking, up 11 places, but obviously he's going to drop back. I think there's someone behind him. And Lucas also in the pit lane, but yeah, that could trigger the top guys to pit here. Sergioli's getting a lot of time on this occasion. Now 2/10 behind second place man, but it looks like Gavroche gets a better exit out of 4. I mean, there's nothing really in it. It could well be just set up, but Lars going defensive coming into turn 4. I'm not sure why. Maybe a mistake or putting the power in too early and car drifting. But Lars, a little bit of going a mistake from our racer. We haven't seen much of. Really, he's held his own throughout the whole Grand Prix. He really hasn't had to defend too hard against Gavroche. Mistake from Gavroche almost took them both out. But do any of them pit here? I think Lars fakes it on the inside there, unless he in late. No, we do have a move. Sergioli comes in the pits. Can he do the undercut? But where is Quantum? Quantum is ahead of a queue of cars, looks like, which crucially, he's not behind that group of cars.
Yeah, because if they were behind, that would have been problematic for Quantum. Let's see how it will all pan down. Sergioli into the pits, so is Snack. But we'll stay on board with Quantum, who's really pushing the edges of these track limits to make sure that they maximise the most. Sergioli, I think, is still going to come out ahead by some distance. I think maybe Quantum did get caught behind this group. And is that front right end plate damage to Quantum as well? It is. Quantum's in trouble. That's unfortunate for them. And not something I thought that I would see, but that's unfortunate. Sergioli, though, out in clean air, ahead of White Sheep. Ahead of Matteo Manga, and that means that they should be able to get an undercut on the front two, which was Lars and Gavroche.
Yeah, that could obviously explain why Quantum isn't where he is and why he almost felt so far behind Sergio. You know, it was, 1.8 or something, less than that maybe. But does anyone from the front group pull in? It doesn't look like... No, they're all staying out for another lap, guys, but Sergio quickest in the middle sector, and I expect another fast lap from... No, sorry, he won't get that because he's come out of pits, but he is quickest in the middle sector. We'll see that for sure. But yeah, Sergio flying around and those new tyres really being put to work on lap 25. But again, I think, like I said, I think they're going to go to the end, the top guys. It's almost too late now to pit, maybe, unless they're going as far as they can on the type. But that seems not the right strategy to go with. So we'll see. Oh, we'll see how they go. Quantum gaining very quickly, but yeah, keep an eye on these gaps.
So, time to do a little maths, I suppose. 17.5 seconds to catch in 12 laps for Sergioli. And if everyone ahead is not pitting, Sergioli then has to overtake them as well. It's not an ideal situation because no one else looks like they are going to pit. Let's look at it from Venom point of view. Venom stays out. This is not good for Shazoo because the pace advantage is definitely on for ET8, but ET8 have done the right thing because there was two of their cars in there. They've pitted one, kept the other one to harass. So fair play to ET8. They're playing the team game absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah, well, yes. However, Lifeboat's got that penalty, so he will 14s. Phenomenal lap from him, and Lafitte actually going for a late lunge up the inside of the Mercedes. I think didn't mean to there, and trying to get past Lifeboat there. That's not helped either of them really with the gaps. Now 1.5, but in third and fourth with that contact between Lafitte and Lifeboat. So tyres maybe starting to feel starting to be pushed to the edge here, guys. I don't think I've ever seen any wet weather tyres get a puncture, but they are doing the whole race in them. But we'll have to wait and see. Sergioli already on the back of White Sheep here, but he needs to dispatch these guys quickly, otherwise he won't be on the back of that queue.
Pick another penalty for Divan there, and let's look at Sergioli because they're all over the back of White Sheep. White Sheep is defending. Well, I say defending, it's actually catching Lars Kramer when you look at the timing screen, but that could be because they've got the rapid ET8 driver of Sergioli behind. Let's see how the exit comes from turn 10. It looks pretty good from Sergioli, but I don't think it's going to be a long enough straight for them to get up and overtake into turn 1. It's going to be a turn 3 overtake. But Lifeboat, well, talking about punctures, I did mention at the beginning of the stream that I think there might be punctures coming in, but Lifeboat managed to finish a race on Friday with 100% wear on their tyre. But up the inside, Sergioli goes on White Sheep, and it's 15.4 seconds between Sergioli, Lars Kramer, 9.5 laps remaining. White Sheep's fighting back, though. The ET8 driver is going to be livid, throwing it up the inside, forcing White Sheep off onto the rumble strip there. But struggling for grip at the end of it. Does White Sheep go back at it? Oh my goodness me, that's... Ooh, goodness. That could have ended badly.
Yeah, I don't think White Sheep appreciated all the contact that Sergioli was giving him, and yeah, I think he was trying to give Sergioli some of his own medicine back there. Didn't go with the plan, and yeah, that was White Sheep almost ending his Grand Prix. So I think White Sheep may be taking, there may be a trip to Stewards for these to have a bit of a talking to afterwards. The elbows really came. But White Sheep lose the place, and I think, Gareth, all that fighting with Sergioli and White Sheep there, that's going to cost Sergioli's chance to win this race quite significantly. What's the gap currently to 15 seconds? I don't think he's going to do it, Gareth. It'd be a hell of a stint from Sergioli to close that gap down, and mistake from the top guys to really change things here.
Yeah, it's 2 seconds a lap as well. It needs to do it. But Sergioli is the fastest driver on the circuit, has been for some time. Obviously, the fresh tyres are going to help. Their tyres are just going to keep on getting stronger and stronger, while Lars Kramer's, Gravroche, Venom's, Lifebouts, Lafiti and Mashuzo's is just going to get worse. Well, if anyone could do it, Sergioli can, and we'll have to wait and see. Lucas getting past Max Power on their fresher tyres. Finley still not in the points, which is really problematic, because Shazoo need as many points as possible to stop ET8 coming back at them.
Yeah, I think crucially for SCI is the fact that Lifeboat is behind Venom as a Sergioli. If they were further up, that would be a different story. So the gap that they will lose points on the team here, but crucially, especially with Lifeboat getting that 3 time penalty, that will help Shazoo. There's quite a few combinations of how this could end here with, what's that, 7 laps remaining as Lafiti tries up the inside on the Mercedes. Huge bit of contact. I don't think Lifeboat's going to appreciate that late lunge from the Williams, but that's Lifeboat into 5th now. I appreciate you have penalties, you'd like you would be finishing in 5th, but yeah, not ideal for the ET8 team here, losing another place.
Not the ideal moment for ET8 driver, but it's not giving me their greatest camera angle either. Sergioli 12.9 seconds behind Lars and going really wide out the exit of turn 9, really pushing that Mercedes to the max. And, well, at the moment, showing, because they are the fastest driver on the circuit, still think it's too late. But ET8 had to throw the dice at something to take the victory tonight.
Yeah, they did. Just looking at lap times. This is a new improvement every single time from Sergioli here. And yeah, I think they did. Yeah, they were stuck. They weren't getting through. I mean, maybe Sergioli could have worked his way through eventually, but ultimately they had to try something. It's difficult. I don't know. 6.5 laps remaining. Mashuzo could be a nightmare to get past now, and he's got no chance whatsoever of gaining. So, we'll have to wait and see. But with not long left, guys, we could see the elbows coming out for the top 3 here, and we could see Sergio gaining quite a bit of time because of the fighting. So we'll have to see how this all pans out. But you can see the drivers on the start-finish line going over to the right side. And so obviously they're feeling the effects of 31 laps on these intermediate tyres. So there we go, another fast lap. Absolutely flying. But yeah, you can tell the drivers are struggling on those.
Yeah, they're massively struggling. Max Power and Snack squabbling away, which is allowing Finley a snap at possible points. This could be huge. I don't know. Sergioli 10.7 seconds behind. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Let's go on board, and let's possibly keep on board with the ET8 driver, because they are flying, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. But he's certainly putting some good action in. The grip's going to be far superior on that Mercedes than it is the McLaren just ahead. Let's see how they take this second sector into sector 3.
Yeah, the problem is he's being caught. He's catching him at the wrong time, isn't he? Likes a move through turn 7 with a little bit of almost contact between front wing and rear right here. He goes to the inside. I think Mashuzo just said, yeah, go through, mate. You're way quicker than me. I need the points for the team. So I think that's Sergioli flying through and into 6th place now. I'm sure Lifeboat is going to let him through as well. But again, it's I don't know if it's enough. It's going to be close. He may get to the back of Venom, but whether he can pass him, we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, his teammates there, he'll let him through. But then, of course, Lafitte, Venom, Gavroche, and Lars aren't going to lie there and take it. They're going to try and defend.
Let's see how it will pan out. The leaders aren't going to squabble away for well, they may do. They may start squabbling. It is lap 32 of 36, so it is a possibility that it's going to kick out. Sorry, not Lifebout. Sergioli is 9.4 seconds, so that's not ideal. I'm not sure what other battles that are happening on track. Jonas and Gergo squabbling away for P12. Finley's into the points now, dispatching of Snack and Ziawadi, I believe, to get into the points. So it is all a little bit around the outside. Finley's trying to find a way past Mac Power, but it's not happening at the moment. And there is Snack trying to get involved. Oh, maybe it is. Finley around the outside of turn 5, the inside to turn 6, and is going to get the move done. And that is some decent recovery from Finley, which we weren't expecting.
Yeah, back to where he started. And crucially, he's got 2 points for the team there, which will help as Lucas gets a time penalty as well. But really squabbling behind all these drivers. Have they all... No, some have pitted, some haven't. But Max Power, all the drivers behind him have pitted. And Snack looking to make a move through to 1 car on this occasion. And it could be... No, I think Max Power could launch out of 1. And Snack won't get him on this occasion unless he manages to get him under braking. But I think he might be a little bit too far away. But in the background, Mattia Nats, Ollie Hornby diving up the inside. Make that move stick on this occasion. But looking at the minimap, Gareth, Sergioli is caught up to the back of this queue.
Yeah, I wonder how much... Well, Lifebout won't give up too much of a fight. It's, 3 laps remaining, 6.4 seconds. It's still 2 seconds a lap. Sergioli will be on the top 4 by the end of the race. We know that much. But how much life has Sergioli taken out of those tyres pushing so hard? Not sure. But there, surely Lifebout is just going to let their teammate through. ETA, perfect teamwork.
Yeah, ultimately. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate as Mattia gets a penalty. Appreciate Sergioli. Yeah, he's pushing the tyre as hard as he can, but everyone else is going really slowly because they want to pop Gareth. So ultimately, I think Sergioli will catch his guys. It's now. I've got the intervals there. 1.6 to Lafitte. I think he might get Lafitte, but whether he gets into the top 3, we'll have to wait and see. And I'm sure Lafitte will defend where he can, and that's a mistake from White Sheep. Actually, Gareth, he's got a puncture. Rear left.
Oh, goodness me. That's a warning shot to the front 4 drivers. The yellow flag for White Sheep with a puncture, and drivers trying to cool the top 4 trying to cool their tyres down, going to the wettest part of the track. Is that Venom? There was a mistake from Venom. I thought Venom may have got a puncture there, but it is just a little bit of desync. I'm certain that was desync because the car is just all over the place. But Sergioli, on the penultimate lap of this race, is behind Lafitte.
Yeah, down towards turn 4. We've got Mashuza's made a mistake, Gareth, as well. I think he's got a puncture as well. He's pinned it in the wall. That's his race over as well. Venom's got a puncture as well, Gareth. Sergioli up into 4th. He could be on the podium here. He's now behind Lafitte. And I'm sure the top 3 now worrying their socks because of Venom losing the race here. We may see more punctures happen. Sergio's got to get past Lafitte before. Oh, he says contact. He can't get through. Lafitte defending for his life. He's going to be stuck behind him almost until, what would that be? Turn 3, because you just can't get by Gareth. And they could allow Gavroche to hold P2. Teamwork from the VNT team.
VNT doing everything they can. It's the final lap here in Austria. And my goodness me, I'm getting flashbacks to the finale of WR last season where the title was decided on a puncture. Can this have ramifications through it? Sergioli doing a wonderful job, throwing it on the inside, putting pure pace down, and has got the podium position. But the front two drivers, they are literally driving on ice. It's not rain, it is ice, because their tyres are so close to punctures. This is absolutely so close to the wire. Are we going to see anything else? But let's not forget, let's go to the leader. He's led from start to finish. He's done what they needed to do, and QRT driver has absolutely made it stick tonight, and this has been great. Oh, he's gone over. That's not going to be a penalty, thankfully for them. And down the start-finish straight, QRT, Lars Kramer has won. But what have you seen?
No, I thought so. You may get Gavroche really slow for the final corner, understandably tyres, but certainly just about misses out. And I think if Lafitte didn't hold Sergioli up, he would have finished second there. Good defending by Lafitte there, and I'm sure Gavroche is thanking him in their team chat. But what an end to that Grand Prix. Drama, as always, and there's still, Gareth, things happening further back.
Oh, goodness. AMS Gergo goes up into ninth. Still squabbling away. Driver going off in the background. That's Matteo Manga struggling. Maybe, surely not with a puncher on 12 lap olds, but let's drive us through. Ollie Hornby picks up a point there in last place. But my goodness me, it is all worked out in the end, but not if you're a Shazoo fan, because Venom picking up a puncture and Finley only 10th.
Absolutely, yeah. Crucially, Venom was ahead, and the points difference between the two teams wouldn't have been that bad with Finley finishing in 10th. But the fact that ET have managed to get 3rd and 5th there is not going to please the Shazoo team in all that, because the gap is 70 points, and that's going to be I don't think it'll be halved, Gareth, but you know, it won't be far off, and they won't I'm sure they won't appreciate that. But we can't talk about this race without talking about Lars and Gavroche. Great races from them both here this evening. I think, like I said, whether we give driver the day to Quantum or not, I think we can debate that to the cows come home. I think maybe we should really. 18th to 6th isn't bad, but yeah, what a race that was.
It was great, and well, we didn't know how it was all going to pan out. The game has given it to Quantum. He's got the most overtakes as well, which is understandable, but Lars also with a great shout for it. Let's go down the order quickly before it all... Actually, let's just save that. Lars, Gavroche and Sergioli on the podium. Then you got Lafitte, Lifebout, Quantum, Belbaby, Lucas, Gergo, Finley, Jonas, Ziawadi, Max Power, Snack, and now Ollie Hornby all finishing the points. No point scoring for Divan. Mattia Manga, Venom, Mashuzo, or White Sheep. All those three drivers at the end picking up an unfortunate puncture at the end of this one. And my goodness me. Wow. Absolutely wow. What an end to the Grand Prix. What a race. We were maybe a little bit worried because of the rain. Some people threw the dice and decided, well, let's go for the fresh tyres and really push for this. Others decided we're going to keep these tyres on and see if it will work.
Yeah, because you think if Sergio had pitted maybe 2 or 3 laps earlier, could we have seen him challenge for the race wing? He could have been stuck in traffic though by pitting a little bit earlier. We don't know. We really don't know what to be for the ETA team, but you know, I'm sure they're both happy. Well, the team are happy. They've closed the deficit on Shazoo tonight, and with 3 runs remaining, it's not long to go, Gareth, before we all we come to a head at Australia in well, that would be 4 weeks time, won't it?
Yeah, it's not long to go at all. Let's have a quick look at the calendar, because that's really what we've got left for this one. Canada next week, which, you know, got the Wall of Champions, got some really difficult points on. We don't know what's going to happen there. Britain, one of the best races you will come across, along with Austria, along with Spa, some of the ones that we've had on this calendar, Brazil as well. So it's great to see. And then finishing in Australia. We started at Abu Dhabi and we're finished in Australia. The spiritual home, I suppose, for a lot of the young, middle-aged team drivers, I guess now, of the beginning of Formula One, Australia, but it's not so much anymore because it's Bahrain. But 3 rounds remaining. I know you're unfortunately not here for next week, but any thoughts on what Canada is going to be like?
Yeah, I'll be suffering maybe in the rain in Tempe next weekend. But yeah, Canada, I think we'll see a lot of penalties. It's corner cutting heaven through that first sector, first and middle sector really. So I think that will play a lot into the drivers' minds. Safety cars, big issue. Wall of Champions. We too many crashes in the virtual world through there. It's more through the first sector we see issues, but rain absolutely inbound for sure, Gareth. It should be a good race. It's going to be tight. It's going to be twisty. Very much, Gareth. It's a great track that's had its moments in the past, and I'm sure we'll have another great race here in CSS next week. But unfortunately, hopefully I can catch up on the Monday with all the action of the Grand Prix.
I've just seen it doesn't look like anyone's going to join us in the waiting room for this week. Hopefully we will get someone at some stage through the season, maybe next week, who knows. Maybe it's a week when I'm not here, maybe it's ice smell, who knows. Let's have a look at what the standings were like before tonight. Shizou obviously with that large margin, but it's been eaten away with because of ET8's dominance in the point scoring this week. So it'll be great to see. Any final ways to wrap this one up, Ollie? Because it's been an insane race.
Yeah, I mean, well done to those drivers who managed to stay out the whole time without getting a puncture. Fair play. Like you said, I think in comms, driving on ice near the end, trying to upshift quickly, no wheel spin, save anything they could, and well done to them. I mean, hell of a race, and hopefully those watching on YouTube enjoyed, because it was thoroughly enjoyable to commentate in Austria once again here in CSS.
Another Austrian Grand Prix and another banger. It's not disappointed, but we'll be back next week for the Canadian Grand Prix. Come and join in on the PC side of things on the Saturday night, but then on the Sunday we are here, myself, and I'm not sure who will be alongside me for that one, but it is the Canadian Grand Prix, and it will be, I'm sure, maybe not as good as this one, but it will hold up. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.